I always believed marriages broke slowly, cracks appearing bit by bit, words becoming colder over time, love fading quietly like a dying flame. But mine didn't crack. It shattered in a single moment, like glass dropped on marble. And the person who smashed it was the man who once held my hands and promised me eternity. My name isn't important yet. What matters is that for 3 years, I lived with a man who thought he knew me. A man who believed I was soft, fragile, and financially dependent on him. A man who never suspected that while he bragged about his stable job, I silently earned $1.5 million a year. I never hid the truth to deceive him. I hid it because I wanted love. Real love. Not the kind that bloomed only when bank statements looked pretty. I wanted someone to choose me for my heart, not my wealth. I had seen too many people change when they saw the color of money. So I dressed simply, kept my car modest, and never spoke about the company I built from scratch. I let him believe life was simple. But that night everything changed. I came home tired but excited. I had planned to surprise him with a weekend getaway, just the two of us, away from work and noise. I imagined his smile, his hug, the way he would lift me off the ground like he used to in the early days. Instead, I found him standing in the living room with a twisted grin on his face, holding a stack of papers. Finally, he whispered, as if he had been practicing the moment. Finally, you're here, you sickly little pauper. I froze. What did you just call me? He threw the papers onto the table. Divorce papers. Already filed. You're out of my house tomorrow. My mouth opened, but nothing came out. It was like my voice had drowned in shock. I looked at him, really looked at him, and suddenly I didn't recognize the man standing there. His eyes were cold, calculating. His posture was proud, as if he had conquered something. Why? I whispered. He laughed. Actually laughed. Why? Because I'm done taking care of you. I found someone better, younger, richer, healthier. Someone who doesn't drag me down. Every word pierced me like a needle. Drag him down. Me. I wanted to scream the truth in his face. That I could buy and sell everything he owned 10 times over. That the house he called mine could be replaced with one swipe of my card. That the woman he was insulting was financially supporting 3 charities, 40 employees, and 2 startup companies. But I didn't. Pride, quiet, powerful pride, kept my lips sealed. If he didn't value me without knowing my wealth, then he didn't deserve to know it now. He crossed his arms. Don't make this harder. Just leave. She's moving in next week. His new woman. The reason behind his sudden cruelty. Everything made sense now. My hands trembled as I picked up the divorce papers. I wanted to cry, but not in front of him. I refused to give him that satisfaction, so instead, I took a deep breath and nodded. Fine, I said softly. I'll leave. He blinked. Surprised that I wasn't begging. He expected tears, he expected desperation, he expected me to crumble like the pauper he imagined. Instead, I walked to his bedroom, packed 2 suitcases, and stepped out of the door without looking back. That night, I slept at a small apartment I used as an office rest space. The silence was loud, the heartbreak heavier than anything I had ever carried. But one thing settled in my chest like a quiet fire. He thought he had won. He thought he had crushed me. He had no idea who he had just thrown away. And in 3 days he would learn. The morning after he threw me out, I woke in my small office apartment to the dull ache of everything that had happened. For a moment, I lay still, staring at the ceiling, letting the reality settle. I was no longer a wife, I was no longer wanted. I had been tossed aside like something replaceable. But beneath the hurt, something else stirred, strength. A strength I had forgotten I possessed. I sat up, brushed the tears off my cheeks, and whispered to myself, he thinks you're nothing. Show him who you are without saying a word. The world outside was already moving. Cars rushing, people hurrying, lives continuing. And somewhere in the middle of that world was the empire I built brick by brick. I showered, dressed in a crisp white shirt and black slacks, tied my hair back, and headed to the elevator. When the doors opened at the 27th floor, my employees stood up respectfully. Good morning, ma'am. Their voices grounded me. This was my world, my company, my people, my dream that had turned into a multi-million-dollar reality. I walked into the glass-walled conference room and placed my laptop on the table. Today was supposed to be routine, but nothing felt routine anymore. I kept seeing his face, hearing the venom in his voice. You sickly little pauper, you drag me down. Be out of my house tomorrow. If only he knew. If only he had ever looked at me with eyes that truly saw. My assistant, Leela, stepped in with a stack of reports. "Mom, you don't look okay. Is everything all right?" I hesitated. No one here knew about my personal life. I kept business and emotions separate, always. But today something inside me softened. "My husband filed for divorce," I said quietly. She gasped softly. "I'm so sorry." "I'm not," I replied, surprising myself with the honesty in my voice. "I just didn't expect the way he did it." Leela nodded gently and left me to my thoughts. After the morning meeting, I drove to my lawyer's office, the only person who knew the truth about my finances. He looked up as I walked in. "I heard from the courthouse. Your husband filed without notifying you properly." "That's fine," I said. "I want the divorce finalized as quickly as possible." He flipped through the papers. "He listed you as financially dependent, so he waived all rights to your assets." I almost laughed. Of course he did. He believed I owned nothing. "Proceed exactly as he requested," I said. "Give him nothing." "Are you sure?" my lawyer asked. "You could expose everything." "No," I said firmly. "He doesn't deserve to know any part of my life he never valued." By afternoon, I visited one of my rental properties, checking on the renovations. The workers greeted me politely, unaware that the quiet woman inspecting the floors owned 12 buildings across the city. After that, I reviewed a few investment proposals at the bank. My life was full of responsibility, full of success, full of power I never needed to flaunt. But every time I paused, a shadow of him would slip into my mind. How could he look at me, and see nothing but weakness? I remembered all the nights I stayed up late, working to expand my company while he slept comfortably. I remembered cooking dinner, cleaning the house, supporting his dreams, encouraging his plans, all while hiding my own achievements to avoid turning the relationship into a battlefield. I thought I was protecting our love, but he thought I was small. And now he was celebrating his new upgrade, probably believing he had traded a burden for a blessing. Let him believe that. Let him drown in that illusion. Because life has a way of revealing truth at the perfect moment. And his moment was coming sooner than he imagined. 3 days. That's all it would take for his world to crumble, and he would come running back, not out of love, but out of desperation. And when he did, I would be ready. When you spend years being underestimated, you learn to expect nothing, not apologies, not explanations, not sudden realizations. So on the 3rd day after he threw me out, I wasn't thinking about him at all. I was sitting in my office, reviewing a proposal to acquire a small cybersecurity firm, sipping coffee, and enjoying the quiet comfort of knowing I was rebuilding myself. Then my phone began to ring. At first I ignored it. Unknown number. I had more important things to deal with. But it rang again, and again, and again, 6 times in a row. My assistant poked her head into the office. "Ma'am, someone has been calling nonstop. Should I block the number?" I sighed and picked up the phone, ready to ask the caller to stop. But the moment I answered, a familiar, shaky voice filled my ear. Honey, thank God, please pick up, it's me." My heart stopped. Him. For a moment, all the pain from the last 3 days ripped open again. But I kept my voice cold steady. "What do you want?" He exhaled in relief, almost sobbing. Please don't hang up. I need your help." I closed my laptop slowly, leaning back in my chair. "Why are you calling me? I thought your rich, perfect new woman was taking care of you." There was silence. A long, humiliating silence. Then he whispered, She's gone." I didn't respond. I wanted him to continue. I wanted to hear every miserable detail. He choked out. "Everything. My savings, my emergency funds, even the money in the business account. She took it all." "What a surprise," I said flatly. He continued, voice trembling. "She crashed my car into a light pole and disappeared with a man she'd apparently been seeing long before me. And now, God, everything is falling apart. The business can't function, suppliers are demanding payments, and I don't know what to do." I tapped my fingers slowly on the table. "And what does that have to do with me? You always fixed things." He whispered. "You were always there when things went wrong." I didn't realize. His voice cracked. "I didn't realize how much you did for me until now." Those words should have hurt. They didn't. Not anymore. "What happened to the house?" I asked calmly. He sniffed miserably. "A foreclosure notice came today. I didn't know the last few mortgage payments were late. I thought you were paying them." Of course he assumed I was paying them. "And the divorce?" I asked. He went quiet again, as if he had forgotten his own cruelty. I didn't mean what I said, he murmured. I was angry. Confused. She made me think you were holding me back. That you weren't contributing anything. That you were just extra weight. Extra weight. Sickly little pauper. Be out of my house tomorrow. Every word echoed inside me like stones dropping into water. So now you want me back, I asked. Yes, he blurted out. I'll do anything. Please come home. I need you. I swear I'll treat you better. Just give me another chance. You're the only person who ever cared about me. I leaned back and looked out the floor to ceiling window of my office. The city stretched below me. My city, my world. My life that thrived with or without him. For years I loved a man who never truly saw me. Now he was begging for the one thing he had thrown away. But I wasn't the same woman he kicked out 3 days ago. Silence drifted between us, heavy and suffocating. I could almost hear him trembling. Finally, I said softly, I'll think about it. And before he could respond, I ended the call. I didn't owe him my anger. I didn't owe him my comfort. All I owed him was the truth that was coming. The sweetest revenge is the moment they realize what they lost, and he had just taken his first step into that abyss. 2 days passed after his desperate call, and I didn't contact him again. I didn't need to. Sometimes silence is a sharper weapon than anger, and right now, my silence was carving through his pride inch by inch. But on the morning of the 5th day since he threw me out, I received a message from my lawyer. The final divorce papers are ready for your signature. Perfect timing. I dressed deliberately that day, something I rarely did for anyone. A fitted black dress, diamond studs I usually kept locked away, and heels that clicked confidently with each step. My hair curled softly over my shoulders, my makeup light but sharp. I didn't dress to impress him. I dressed as the woman he never recognized. Outside the building, my newest luxury car waited, a sleek obsidian model he had never seen, because it only arrived after we separated. The engine purred as I drove to the house I once shared with him. No, his house. Or rather, the house I now own through a quiet corporate purchase. He was too distracted to notice. When I pulled into the driveway, he rushed outside, eyes wide, jaw dropping at the sight of me in the car. You look amazing, he stammered. I smiled politely. Thank you. He looked different, disheveled, exhausted, and smaller somehow. Life had already begun teaching him lessons he should have learned long ago. He opened the door as if afraid I would vanish. Please, come inside. I walked in without hesitation. The living room was a mess. Papers scattered, empty beer cans on the table, and the silence of a place that once held too many lies. My lawyer arrived minutes later, carrying the folder of documents. My husband swallowed hard. So, we're really finalizing it today, he murmured. Yes, I replied softly. He sat across from me at the dining table. His eyes kept darting to me, searching for something, anger, hope, forgiveness, anything he could grip onto. But I remained calm, unreadable. When my lawyer placed the final divorce papers in front of me, he leaned forward. Before you sign, he said quietly, I just want to say I'm sorry. I was stupid. Blind. I let someone manipulate me. I should have valued you. I should have treated you better, please. Please don't hate me. I lifted my pen but didn't sign yet. Instead, I looked him straight in the eyes. You didn't value me because you thought I had nothing, I said softly. Not because she manipulated you. The truth is you wanted someone who made you feel superior. His face flushed with shame. You called me a pauper. You said I dragged you down. You threw me out like trash. I leaned back. Tell me, who's dragging who down now? He trembled, voice cracking. I know, and I regret it every second. Please, just give me one more chance. I'll change. I'll work hard. I'll be better. I smiled gently. I don't want you to be better for me. I want you to be better for yourself. His eyes shined with hope, until I continued. Oh, and the house, I said casually. Who's actually yours anymore? He blinked. What? I bought the mortgage debt and the property rights under one of my companies. Legally, this house belongs to me now. My voice stayed sweet, steady. You don't have to leave today. I'll give you a few weeks. He looked shattered. And your business debt? I added. I purchased that too. He stared at me as if seeing me for the very first time. Who are you? He whispered. I signed the papers with a calm hand. I'm the woman you thought was worthless, I said. And the woman you will never underestimate again. My lawyer gathered the documents. I stood, smoothed my dress, and gave my ex-husband one last, gentle smile. "Take care of yourself," I said softly. "This is the last time you'll see me." Then I walked out, my heels echoing like victory. Outside the sun was warm, the sky bright, as if the world itself was welcoming me back. I didn't look back, I didn't need to. My sweet revenge was complete, not through cruelty, but through truth, and the truth was simple: he lost me. And I finally found myself.